Welcome to Bariatric Business Accelerator, the podcast created for busy weight loss practitioners and their teams who want to systematize and simplify their established or new weight loss practice. I'm your host, Carol Clark, and I wanted to talk today about something that makes a huge difference in every practice I've ever worked with, including our own, and that is regular team meetings, meaning that you meet with your leadership team regularly and they meet with their direct reports on a regular basis. And most of us have this memory of meetings. And I remember I was a hospital administrator, and sometimes, it was like we would meet just for the sake of meeting. But when you have a meeting that is so focused, that it is short, it's to the point, and it makes a difference in your practice, it is so worth it. So what I've found to work really well in our practice and other practices is actually a weekly Monday meeting, which you may say, oh my gosh, that would be terrible. We couldn't do it on Monday. You can pick whatever day you want. But the point is there are just 4 questions that you want to address at your meeting. So you can do it standing up if you want to, but a quick meeting when you can agree on a time that will work on a regular basis. If you have people that are remote, you can even do this via Zoom or some sort of an online meeting, but you want to ask 4 questions. The first one is, what wins were accomplished last week? And this is where you really drill into what your key performance indicators are. What are you focusing on right now? Is it new leads? Is it new consultations? Is it total amount of patients seen? Is it revenue sales for your retail store? Is it overall billing and collections? Is it something team related? You want to know, what are your key things that you're monitoring, which will change over time to a certain degree depending on what you're focusing on. So what were your wins last week so you can celebrate that? This is also a great time to give a shout out to a team member who was exemplifying some of the values that you have in your practice, whether it's following through on projects, integrity, going the extra mile, whatever it is in your practice. So that's the first thing. And that doesn't have to take a lengthy period of time, especially when you're in the mode of having your numbers ready and reporting on it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, what are our goals and objectives for this week? So what is the volume that you need, the retail sales that you need, the total number of new patients, the total number of leads, people attending an event? What are your goals and objectives for this week? That's the second thing. The third thing is to brainstorm just some ideas about how to make sure that that happens. And the fourth thing is to really just ask your team if they need any help or support in making their objectives for the week happen, or if they need help prioritizing. That's it. That's the 4 questions of one of the most impactful meetings that you can have with your team members. So let me give you an example. So in our practice, we doing bariatric surgery, I had an office manager who ran the day-to-day. I had education coordinator who handled all the fitness and the education for the patients and that whole patient counseling side of it. And then a retail and sales manager that handled all the retail sales. So every Monday we meet and we go through, what were our numbers from last week? What are our goals for this week? Does anyone need help with something? Do we need to brainstorm a new idea that we have coming up for a new special we're going to offer, or for a new event, or something that we're hosting, or a new referral program that we've created? And we kind of brainstorm that, and then we talked about what's the priority, and is there any other support needed? And then they left and they covered that with their teams in a very efficient manner. And sometimes the teams was sort of just an informational thing. We wanted to get some of their input, but that was an easy thing. Happens every Monday. And for us, that tends to work best. It just helps us because we've got our numbers from the previous week. We're ready to go for this week. And I want you to know that if you implement this in your practice, and I do it with some practices that I work with real closely, it is a huge, impactful, really meaningful meeting, some of the most meaningful ones that you can have. So once again, what was accomplished last week? What are our wins? What can we celebrate? And then we want to talk about what are our goals and objectives for this week. And we want to brainstorm any ideas that we need to brainstorm for that. And then just really ask, is there some way that I can best support you in accomplishing your objectives for this week? Or is there any help that you need with prioritizing? Because as we know, our team can get really, we are idea people. We're always coming up with something new to do. And sometimes they think that everything is the highest priority. when really you may have a different opinion in terms of what's the highest priority. And so those are some important things that you can then take care of. Everybody's ready to go. They leave the meeting energized, ready to tackle the week. And next week you get to review all your wins that happened this week. So I hope this has been helpful for you. These are simple things that any busy weight loss practice, any practice for that matter, any business can implement, and it makes a huge difference. Please trust me on this. There was a period when we stopped doing our meetings and everybody missed it. The team missed it, I missed it, and our accomplishment of goals slowed down. So it just went to show again how important these are to have every week. I know our team loves it. The teams I work with do enjoy it. Nobody likes having another meeting on their schedule, but it is that important. If you haven't subscribed, please do so to Bariatric Business Accelerator. If you aren't a member of Bariatric Business Accelerator, my membership program, it is the most affordable way to get to work together, do a lot of these things together and help with some added guidance. And it's really awesome for you and for your team. They get to participate in it as well. Tons of resources and turnkey things that you can implement in your practice. So if you haven't checked it out, bariatricbusinessaccelerator.com. And I hope you have a great day and a very productive meeting. All your priorities are set, objectives are set, and you are crushing your goals. So in the meantime, take care and talk to you next week.